So you're at your local gas station, just stopping for gas and maybe some snacks. But then you see it. That tiny little ticket whispering, what if? You know it's stupid, you know the odds are trash, but you start dreaming anyway. Because for a split second, that $10 ticket feels like an escape. From bills, from rent, from that slow grind of doing everything right and still getting nowhere. You tell yourself it's just for fun, but deep down, you're buying a tiny shot at hope. You start scratching, knowing you won't win. Still, your heart's pounding like maybe this is it. And then you actually win $1 million. Heart pounding, hand shaking, the cashier's congratulating you. People are staring. Your brain's already calculating what to do first. You finally made it. But wait, what's that noise? And it's your alarm. You think you'd actually win that big? Statistically, you're 50 times more likely to be struck by lightning. But still, you buy it. Not because you're stupid, but because of the dirty psychology of lottery tickets. But where did this whole lottery thing even start? Why does losing almost feel like winning? And does playing more actually increases your odds or make them worse? It's 205 BC, you're the emperor of China, and you need to build some massive vaults. Problem is, your treasury is empty. So why don't you just raise taxes? Yeah, one wrong move and the peasants are storming the streets, starting the ancient French Revolution. So instead, you get clever. You create a game. The rules are simple. Pay entry fees, pick a few numbers, and wait for the draw. If your numbers match, you win. The more numbers you match, the bigger the payout. A few win small prizes, a few win big ones. But the rest, their money quietly flows straight into your treasury, and brick by brick, the Great Wall of China starts to rise. Yep, this was actually how it was funded. The game was called Keno Slips, the world's first lottery, and the sneakiest tax ever invented. Fast forward to today, not much has changed. People are still buying tickets, scratching away, chasing that tiny what if. In 2024 alone, Americans spent over $113 billion on lottery tickets. But the clever part is the marketing. They tell you, proceeds go to school. Sounds pretty good. Feels like you're doing something noble. You're not just gambling, you're helping kids learn to read or maybe funding a playground. You can almost hear your conscience say, it's for a good cause. Except, most of that money never actually reaches the school. The system is set up so you feel good while still giving the lottery its cut. Tiny wins here, flashy songs there, a jackpot promise. Everything is designed to make you keep playing. And once playing the most are households making under $50,000. They spend more than those who make over $100,000 a year. People who can least afford it are the ones most caught in the system, which, yeah, not a good look. And it's not because people are stupid. There's a reason this works on even the smartest brains. But let's say you just buy one scratcher every month for the next 50 years. By then, you've spent around $6,000, assuming your tickets were $10 on average. And sure, you'll win a few times along the way, those tiny $2 victories that make you feel like luck's just warming up. But you see, those small wins are a carefully crafted strategy. Back in the 1940s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a strange experiment. He placed pigeons in a box with a lever. Press it, get food. At first, the pigeons pecked when they were hungry, got their food, and stopped. Pretty normal. But then Skinner changed one thing. He stopped giving food every time. Sometimes they got it, sometimes they didn't. No predictability. And suddenly, the pigeons went insane. They started pecking non-stop, even when no food came out because their brains couldn't handle the uncertainty. That's what's called a variable reward system. Rewards that come at random intervals. You don't know when you win, only that maybe if you just try once more, you might. Every lottery ticket is a mini Skinner box. You lose, and then boom, $5. You know it's meaningless, but your brain doesn't care. It lights up like you just made progress. But you see, those small unpredictable wins aren't there to make you rich. They're there to keep you playing. In fact, studies show the anticipation of winning gives a stronger dopamine surge than the actual win. Your brain literally enjoys the possibility more than the result. In 1982, researchers ran a simple experiment. They gave three groups lottery tickets 361, 965, and 865 and told them if your number wins, you get $10,000. The winning number was 864. Yup, nobody had it. Everyone lost. But when the researchers asked how each group felt, the 865 group, just one digit away, reported the most frustration. Why? Because they almost won. Now imagine holding that 865 ticket. You'd stare at it thinking, I was this close, and that tiny almost would mess with your brain. Because those people weren't just disappointed, they were more likely to play again. That's the near miss effect. Your brain mistakes almost winning for progress, even when it's just chance. And this is exactly how slot machines dominate casinos. They're not designed for fairness, they're designed for psychology. When a slot shows cherry cherry lemon, your brain fires like you almost won, as if missing by an inch means you're getting better. It's the same logic athletes use after missing goalpost, except here, there's no skill involved at all. That's how smart people justify gambling. They start talking about probabilities and strategies, when really, it's just a system designed to hijack human logic. And the lottery industry knows this better than anyone. They design scratchers so you almost win, or win just enough to stay hooked. The near miss gives you the illusion of control. The variable reward keeps you chasing it. Together, they turn math into emotion and logic into hope. But let's go back to our 50-year-long buying lottery scenario. 600 tickets, your odds of actually hitting the jackpot? Around 0.02%. That's not even 1 in 100, not even 1 in 1,000. It's 1 in 5,000. Keep in mind that this is after 50 years of constantly buying lottery tickets every month. But the thing is, this math is completely wrong. Monte Carlo, 1913. There's chaos at the roulette table. The balls landing on black 5 times in a row. People start murmuring, it's gotta be red next. It's due. So they start piling their money on red. The wheel spins again and again and again. Black. 10 times, 15, 20. By now, the room's boiling. Players are throwing down on everything they've got, convinced that red has to come next. But it doesn't. It lands on black 26 times in a row. Hundreds of gamblers wiped out in one night. That night became one of the most famous examples of the gambler's fallacy. The belief that past outcomes somehow affect future ones, even when each event is completely independent. The roulette wheel doesn't remember landing on black. It doesn't owe anyone red. But our brains think differently. We hate true randomness. We crave balance, order, fairness. So when things swing too far one way, we assume it's about to even out. That's when the illusion begins. We start seeing invisible patterns, telling ourselves it's about to change. I'm due for a win. Luck's turning around. So let's say you took a coin from your pocket. You flipped it 9 times and it landed heads on every single time. So what's the chance the next flip will be tails? Most people say it's way more likely now. But that's the trap. The 10th flip isn't any different from the first. It's the same coin, the same 50-50 odds. The coin doesn't know it got heads 9 times in a row. Still, our brain struggles to accept that because it just feels wrong. It feels like the universe should balance itself out. But remember that $10 a month example? If you invested $10 a month for 50 years consistently, you'd be sitting at approx $80,000 versus the realistic $2,000 loss if you bought the lottery ticket instead. But realistically speaking, the average American invests nearly $300 to $500 a month. Over 50 years, that could snowball into $3 million. Yup, $3 million. I don't know about you, but this seems like the real lottery. And all this happens quietly and predictably without the flashing lights, tiny wins, and the heartbreak of scratchers. Same dream. One gives you the fantasy, the other gives you freedom. One gives you chasing hope you'll never catch, the other actually builds it. You see, the fantasy feels urgent, emotional, like it's right there. The real jackpots, the steady compounding one, feels boring. That's why most people ignore it. But what most people don't realize is people don't buy lottery tickets because they love gambling. They buy them because everything else feels rigged. Stagnant wages, crushing debt, and the cost of living that keeps climbing while opportunity stays out of reach. The system seems stacked. But the lottery is like the only place you can actually win. It's not real hope. It's the illusion of hope. Every tiny win, every almost, every marketing slogan makes your brain think you're in control, like you can beat a rigged system. The lottery doesn't make millionaires, it makes the poor feel okay losing. So ask yourself, which is scarier? Chasing fantasy your whole life, or realizing you could have built real wealth quietly all along?